we go. Let's pick up at number 9. Deb wants to buy a new computer game system. He saved $35 last month, and he plans to save $20 a month. So this is your slope right here, because each month he's going to put away another $20, right? Keeping in mind, he's already got the original 35. Since he learned so much in his algebra class this past semester, he decided to write an equation using M, the number of months he will need to save for his game, and T, the total savings. So T is going to be our total savings. He's going to do $20 a month, and he already has $35. Okay, so that would be our equation for this situation. Then it says, how long until he can buy his computer game system? Well, the system he's interested in buying costs $375. That means he's going to have saved $375. So we just plug that in for y, and then we can solve. If I subtract 35 from both sides, I'll get 340 equals 20m. Divide both sides by 20, and I'll get m equals 17. So in 17 months, he will be able to buy his computer game system. Then let's see. We got to find the rate of change, slope, and constant for the following situations. Then write an equation and or inequality of the line. So Claudia's getting her car repaired. Their service fee is $35, so no matter what, you're paying that. Plus, it's 35 cents per minute. Write an equation where C represents the cost, so C is going to be the cost, and H is the number of hours. Notice, this is for 30 minutes. That means it's going to be $70 per hour. So we've got $70 per hour plus, right off the bat, you're going to pay $35 just, for the guy to look at your car or say hello. Independent is always what you plug in, so it's going to be number of hours. The answer always depends on the independent. The answer is cost of the repair. Okay, let's take a look at B. Frank is going to rent a moving truck for 3 days. The rental charge $85 per day, plus you got 25 cents, and this is going to be per mile. He wants to spend no more than $300. Okay, so remember, $300 is going to be that total. Since he doesn't want to spend any more than $300, that means $300 is our maximum amount we want to spend. He wants to spend no more than, which means he's willing to spend the whole $300. So we can also say it's equal to. Now we got to figure out our M and our B. Notice this per mile thing. That's actually going to be your slope. And the reason is this $85 per day is actually your y-intercept. And the reason is because they told you how many days. To get your B value, you're going to take 3 times $85 a day, which would give you 255 for a B value. So then to write the other side, we'd say we're going to pay 25 cents a mile, right? Plus, right off the bat, we got to pay $255. And that is what our inequality would look like. Rolling along, we got C down here. It says, what's my slope? Well, I got a point at 1,500. And then I got a point down here. So it went down 1,500 over 180. And it's going to be negative, of course, because it went down. These will cancel out, correct? And then if I reduce 150 by 18, I'll get a slope of negative 25 thirds. You could just put that in any calculator. My y-intercept, of course, is 1,500. Remember, our equation goes y equals mx plus b. So I got y equals negative 25 thirds x plus where I started at 0 time. D. Some of these might look familiar to you. This one, here's a good point, and here's a good point. I went up 250. I went over 50, which means I got a slope of 250 over 50. Well, 50 will go into 250 5 times, so that would be your slope. Your y-intercept is going to be this negative 200, And then your equation then would be y equals mx minus 200. Okay, so for E, they've given us a table, so we're going to use bird beaks to find our slope. To go from 1 to 5, we'd have to add 1 plus 4 gives me 5. 5 to 7 would be 2. From 3 to 9 would be 6. From 9 to 12 would be 3. If I take 4 and put it over 6, remember y always goes on top, you'll notice it's actually going to equal 2/3. So my slope for this particular table is 2/3. My B value, well, they don't give it to me in the table, so since I got to do all this information down here, I'll find it in the mix of this. So I got y equals 2/3. X, all you got to do is plug a point now. I picked this point right here. That would be HK form. You could have plugged in any of those 3 points. Then we've got slope-intercept. Slope-intercept is going to be where I distribute all that. So let me give myself a little place to work right here. 2/3 x minus 3 plus 1. There we go. I'm going to distribute, so I get 2/3 x. Remember, you have to multiply both of them. My 3's will cancel, and I'll be left with -2. And then I still got this plus 1 out here. So then I get 2/3 x minus 2 plus 1 gives me -1. So slope-intercept form, here's my slope, 2/3. And then here's my y-intercept, so now I know what my b value is, which is -1. Standard form would be now taking this y equals 2/3 x minus 1 and converting it to that ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are integers and a is greater than 0, okay? So my first step is I'm going to subtract 2/3 x from both sides. That's going to give me -2/3 x plus y equals 1. Then I need this fraction to go away because I can't have any fractions or decimals since they all have to be integers. I also need this negative to go away because a has to be greater than 0. So I am going to multiply by -3/2. The negative will make the negative go away, and then if I multiply by the reciprocal, it will make that fraction go away as well. Oh, I don't know what to do that. I don't know what I'm doing. It's too late, guys. See, I should be at home now. I'm just gonna multiply by -3. I don't want to multiply by a reciprocal because I just want to make this 3 go away, right? So if I multiply this by -3, my 3's will cancel, my negatives will cancel, and I'll be left with 2x. Then I'm going to multiply this -3 times y, and I get -3y. Then I'll multiply -3 times 1, -1, do not forget this step, and I will get 3. So that would be my standard form, ax plus by equals 3. Notice all of my numbers are integers, and my a value is greater than 0. Okay, let's see, F. This is a mapping. We haven't looked at one of these in a little while. This would tell you right here that you have a point -4, 5. This tells you right here you got a point at 2, -16. And this tells you got a point at 6, -30, okay? So you could list that in the table. This is just one other way of doing data. The question is it a function or not? Since none of these x values repeat, yes, it is a function, okay? The domain is just going to be the list of these in order. It is discrete because there's nothing letting us know otherwise, so it's just -4 to 6. And remember, anytime you're asked for domain or range, you always have to decide, is this discrete or continuous? So then my range is just going to be these y values listed in order from smallest to largest. Okay, let's look at the back of this page. Simplify. Oh, that looks like a lot of space. Let's see if I can fit it. I think I'm going to give myself a little work room. So let me add page. Okay, so I'm going to work on number 11 over here. I've got f of x equals -5, 2x. Oh, this is not going to work. I'm not going to have enough space. Change my mind. We'll just go back to a single screen. Okay, let's see what I can do. See if I can fit it in this space. I got equals -10x. I got -35y. And then I got -4x I got positive 4y, and I got negative 12. Okay? Oh, don't forget your plus 6 out there, which I was about to forget. Okay? Now I'm looking for all the things that are right the same. Here's an x and here's an x. So let's see, I got negative 14x. These are just combining like terms. Here's a y and here's a y, so I got minus 39y. And then here's my constants, which is going to be negative 6. And that's it. You're done. Okay? The next one, I'm going to clear this ink off so I got my space again. The next one says f of x equals 24. That's the same thing as saying y equals 24 because f of x is y, okay? So that means all you have to do, since f of x equals 24, we can substitute 24 for f of x. Once I do that, I'm just looking to solve x. So I got 24 equals 4x. I distribute my negative 3. I distribute my negative 3. Then I got 24 equals, these combine to give me x plus 12. I subtract 12 from both sides, giving me x equals 12. We got to solve number 13. So let's see. First we would subtract 4 from both sides, which would give me x over 5 equals negative 6. Keeping in mind, x over 5 is the exact same thing as 1/5 x, okay? If I want to make that 5 go away, in other words, x is currently being divided by 5, so all I'm going to do is multiply by 5. So that'll give me x equals negative 30. So, of course, you could go back and check this, right? Because we're pros at this checking stuff, aren't we? We just plug it back in, it should equal negative 2. Negative 30 divided by 5 is negative 6 plus 4, which is supposed to equal negative 2, and it does. So we got the right answer. Okay, it says, which function rule describes the data in the table? First thing we might want to do is find the slope. So this is going up by 2, this is going up by 7, this is going up by 5. This is going, what, up by 4, this one went 14, and this one went 10. And if you take your y and put it over your x, each one's going to give you 2. So the slope of this line is 2. You'll notice b is not 2, and you'll notice a does not have a slope of 2. So we can immediately eliminate both of those. Then we could just pick a point. Doesn't matter which point. I'm just going to pick 4, 7. So I got y equals 2x minus 4 plus 7. And I'm going to simplify to figure out which one of these it is. I get 2x minus 8 plus 7, which is going to be 2x minus 1. So there's your answer. Oh, the watering garden deal. Let's see. During what time frame is she neither filling the can nor watering the garden? Well, if she's not filling the can, then the gallons of water are not increasing. I didn't mean to cross right through that. I just meant to, draw attention to it. So if she's not filling a can, then the gallons of water will not be increasing. And if she's not watering the garden, then it will be not be decreasing. This is the only place right here where it is not getting more water in it or less water in it. So from 3 until 4.5. So from 3 until 4.5, she is neither filling the can nor watering the garden. During what time frame is the rate of change the greatest? Is the graph steeper or flatter during this time interval? Well, if the rate of change is the greatest, remember, the bigger the slope, the steeper the graph. So that's really all you have to look for. Well, I believe when you did this originally, let's see, if I go from here to here, it's changing at a rate of 3 over 1, so this is a slope of 3. Well, this one's obviously flatter, so I don't even care. This one right here goes all the way down 5 over 1, so this is 5. So I would say that during what time frame? That would be from 4.5 to 5.5. Is this like minutes? Yes, minutes. From 4.5 to 5.5 minutes, man, she's just pouring that water out on the garden. She's had enough. She's ready to go have a cupcake or something. When's the can empty? Be careful with this. There's two answers. The can is empty at 0 time, right? And the can is empty after 5.5 minutes because at the beginning she doesn't have any water in it until she starts filling it up. Okay, let me go ahead and shut this one down and start another.